When I was a teenager, I was in a boys' home, and for boys and stuff, we go out on Saturday night. They let us go out, and so we got together and said, "We're gonna count the kisses when we come in here Sunday morning for breakfast, and we're gonna say morning. Every time we say morning, uh, it means we got a kiss. That's what plans we had. So Sunday morning come, going down to eat breakfast. Uh, Another teenager come down the step first, and he said, "Good morning." We know we got one kiss. Then another one come down and said, "Good morning this morning." No, he got two. And another one come down and said, "Good morning this morning. Nice morning this morning. I love this morning. It sure is a wonderful morning this morning." We got a bunch of kisses. Well, it's my time to come down. I come down the steps, and they was looking at me. And they just kept staring at me and looking at me. I looked at them and I said, "How y'all doing?" Well, I stayed on out this here hotel, and it curved around. And I went downstairs and told that girl, I said, "What kind of hotel y'all running here?" She said, a good, decent hotel. I said, "Well, there's a lady up there. I could see her out of my window, because they down a little bit lower. They had those curtains that halfway, like this right here, they was closed and everything. Had them big curtains to the side, they was open." And I told that lady, I said, "I could see her taking a shower." She said, "Let's go up there and look." So she went up there and looked out my window. She said, "I can't see nothing." She said, I don't understand." I said, "If you stand up on this bed, you can." Well, there was a man on my porch. I called the cops and told him, "This man been out here on this porch. I think he dead." He said, "How long has he been out there?" I said, 6 months, I reckon. He said, "Well," said, "we're going to send someone over." Said, "What's that street name?" I said, "Pemunia Consistent Lane or something, Capemunia." So he said, "Spell that." I said, "Well, CP." I said, "Just give me about 30 minutes. They said, "Why wait 30 minutes?" Because it's going to take me about 30 minutes to drag him over to Oak Street. Well, when I was a kid, I had to stay in the house and play my guitar, study on it. All them other kids was outside playing football. And I couldn't go out. I had to stay in there, play that guitar while they play football. But I learned one thing, that I could keep that guitar 20 yards. Well, one time, this lady and her husband working out in the field, and the only way they can make the money, planting stuff and growing stuff and everything, they like farmers and stuff. So they went in the house. They was tired that afternoon, and the woman got in the shower, took one quick. The husband said, "Hurry up, I want to get this dust and everything off me." Well, she got out, and he got in. She put the towel around. The time he did, the doorbell rang. And he said, "Go get the doorbell." She said, "All right, I'll go there." Well, she had his towel around him, and this guy's at the door. He looked at her. He said, I gave you $500 if you drop the towel." So they needed the money, so she dropped the towel. And he left, and she went back in there and said, husband said, "Who was that?" So that was Bob, our neighbor. Said, "What did he want?" Said, "I hope he brought that $500 he owed me." One time I was in this antique store, and I was over there. I was amazed by this old antique. I just stood there for about 10 minutes. I was looking at this old antique, and then I looked down, and there's a lady put a price tag on me. Thank y'all.